We all know that premarital relationships are haram, but I don't think we talk enough about why that's the case. A couple weeks ago, a really good friend of mine and I were talking about the concept of soul ties. A soul tie is a very strong emotional and spiritual connection between two people that can be formed through intimacy, shared experiences, or emotional vulnerability. When we experience emotional or physical intimacy, our brain releases a chemical known as oxytocin. It's known as the love hormone, and it is there to make us feel more attached, connected, helps us bond with people that we're close to. But the thing is, our brain doesn't differentiate between whether we're in a long-term relationship or a short-term relationship. It will just release the chemical when we're close to others. So even if you're not in a long-term relationship or a stable relationship, you will still feel tied to that person because of that surge of oxytocin. And this is why breakups or ending relationships that were physically or emotionally intimate can feel like withdrawal. Your body has essentially become addicted to the feeling of closeness with that individual. When the relationship ends, your oxytocin levels drop. So even if the relationship wasn't stable or wasn't healthy, you'll still crave that connection or look for that connection in other people. Additionally, when you're distancing yourself from someone, your body is going to interpret that as emotional trauma. Emotional pain you experience will then trigger your stress hormone known as cortisol. Elevated levels of cortisol can cause you to experience insomnia, anxiety, and in general just make you more irritable. This increase in cortisol can also make it harder to cope with emotional situations, which makes it harder to heal. But let's say you actively try not to think about that person, or you act like that person did not have such a big impact on your life. This is known as emotional suppression, and it is still detrimental to your health. This also activates your body's stress response and still consumes cognitive resources, which can cause a cognitive overload and impair your cognitive functions. And the same can be said about acknowledging a breakup and dealing with the emotions related to it. This is not to say that all relationships are bad or all emotional connections are bad. I think they can be very powerful things. They shape who we are, they shape the person we become. But it's important to form those emotional bonds and connections in the right context. In Islam, we're taught to form them within the context of marriage. And it's all really just to protect our heart, our peace, and our mental and physical health. So in a nutshell, God made premarital relationships haram, honestly, just to protect us.